Just got done with the meetings, and he said he was on his way.
We are.
All right, so I'll call this meeting to order. It's a meeting of the Committee of the Whole. It is 6:04. Has meeting been publicly noticed?
The meeting has been posted and noticed according to law.
Okay, all trustees are here except trustee Warren, who is on his way, and trustee Bockhurst, who is excused, did you say?
She's, said that she'd be coming at 6:30.
Trustee Bockhurst should show up at 6:30. Anybody, any trustee? No, no, here. Everybody right? Okay. The first thing we have, and the only thing we have on our agenda today, is to consider chapters 4 and 5 of the communication plan, social media and communication in public buildings. Thank you for keeping this on the forefront. I know we had discussions earlier, and then we had to postpone the discussion until we got through some budgetary matters and prioritization. So, Tyler.
Yeah, so we're bringing back chapters 4 and 5. 1 through 3 were adopted last year on a few different communication topics. So 4 and 5 were based on social media and communication in public buildings. Those are two items that were requested to be moved up, so the board could discuss those before some of our other topics. So I thought for the sake of today, we just kind of go by page, and if you have certainly any questions, we'll stop on that page and address them. And I can just do like a quick page summary before we dive into any questions in that. Okay, so we'll start with social media. So on the first page of the policy, it addresses the different types of social media use and identifies what pages the Village of Shorewood are the official pages. And then C1 gets into the village staff that would be authorized to use such a page. So I just want to start that discussion. If there's any questions or
Just on the
points that want to be made on that page.
On the page? I don't really go that much in order, but I'll try. So we're up to village staff. That's on this page. I just wanted to know if a village staff, a committee member, or elected official forwarded on like a memo, like say we forward on information to our personal page, just my Allison page or a volunteer committee's page, personal page, like from the manager's memo, what do we do? Because it says not to utilize like official logos or any of that stuff, and to notify a person if you're gonna use their name. So what do you do in that instance? So we want to forward something from her manager's memo.
And it had like the village logo in it? Is that what
or
your
whatever,
question?
yeah.
Yeah,
Sharing her writing.
The
and-
point of the policy is that's definitely allowed, and I
Okay.
think I even have in a different section that for other Shorewood pages, even though they're not official Shorewood pages, that we encourage people to share stuff directly from any of the village pages or even the village website. So that would be encouraged.
Even on a personal page, not a.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it is encouraged for other non-village social media pages to share village content off of our pages.
Okay, perfect.
I think the definition, you need to define social media more carefully, because, right now, we're primarily talking about Facebook, but, in 10 years, it could be, gobbledygook, or, I don't know, some new platform we haven't even thought of, so I think there needs to be a little more clarity about, we have the village website, and then we have village communication on other platforms on the web, which could be Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, I don't know, it could be anything. Snapchat, yeah. So,
Twitter.
So do you feel that we should list out which social
No.
media
No,
that
I-
we use?
Doesn't
no,
make sure from-
because
Okay.
it's gonna change in
Right.
the future.
Yeah,
I'm saying
and that's why I
we need to do
did
a
it.
definition.
So what would you
General.
propose to alter the definition in the, because I have,
I think she's saying make it separate and distinct from your official webpage. Any other types of communication that aren't in print.
No, I would say any other, platforms, or communication,
so if we look at,
technologies on the internet other than the village website.
okay, so if we look at the fourth line in the introduction, I have social media may include tools used for external electronic communications, including, you guys say but not limited to, blogs, forums, microblogs, social networks, RSS feeds, and video blogs that are either sponsored, produced, and created for me or maintained by the village. So is there a way that we can
But,
amend
okay, so,
that?
but, we're getting into social media pages, well, this is your definition of social media, but like, all of
All
us
the
have a
writing is
Village
about-
of Trustee Facebook page.
I don't.
Okay, well,
You're
the
on
rest of
page
us
though,
do.
right?
It's
Maybe
personal
Wes
page,
doesn't,
I'm
I
not
don't.
mixed.
So, I
Well,
mean,
we have two
under
pages
this
too.
definition, that would be included in there because,
Because they're not official, those wouldn't be recognized as official village pages. So if you had your,
right, but okay,
so if you had your own trustee page, that's not an official village page, that wouldn't be
I
included.
understand that, but
Oh,
I'm saying for the purpose of definition of this policy, when you're using social media, you're defining it in this particular way, and I'm just saying, if that's social media, what is my village, Jessica's Village of Trustee page? Cause it's not social media as defined here.
It's not a blog, it's not an RSS feed, it's not a, is that what
But
you're
he's saying all of these are those that are created or maintained
Yeah,
by the
it's separate.
village.
Well, and I guess
So
my,
you might wanna say
Social.
social,
network, Facebook is a social network.
but he's I'm just saying definitionally.
Right.
but is this, like, I sort of took this section as for village-owned and run social media, so, you know, yes, so, you know, the official Village of Shorewood Facebook page, whatever that may be, blog, et cetera. Not, and like in the introduction, like I was understanding that this was introducing and discussing only what's owned and maintained by the
But look at the
village.
last sentence,
No,
the
it's not.
policy will discuss the
It's more
utilization of
talking about
social media
everything- everything else.
personally versus professionally. I mean, you
Right.
wouldn't use the village's social media personally. You
So,
know,
Right, under F, it does talk about.
Can I
personal
clarify?
Right, I mean, it does, but I don't know, I mean, I didn't have any issue with the introduction. I just have a hard time with the use of social media, in like, sort of blending into that, like, freedom of speech especially, like,
not there
I
yet.
do not agree with the president.
Not there yet.
I know, but I'm just like, sort of saying my sort of grander thoughts. You know, we currently have a president who right, wrong, or indifferent, says whatever he thinks all the time, and, you know, fortunately or unfortunately, we do have the freedom of speech, and, you know, there's limitations, of course, but I just have some concerns.
His overall concerns. Just to go back to David for a second, to the comment, the first page. One of the things that I wrote down is, in other cities, municipalities, and like Mike said, I don't have a trustee page. People in the community feel that if you do have a trustee page, they feel that's kind of official, right? There's an assumption that I have an Allison page and I have a president page, and that's okay, there's nothing that says I can't. Would we consider doing what some of the other communities do, where we do put the official logo on the elected officials page that says president or trustee or board member, and then apply these? Because what I'm running into is if a president page, okay, and if I was a community member, I'd be pissed. If a president page, if I'm saying I'm the president, and this is, now, presidents, with a disclaimer, no disclaimer, have a right, because we're elected, to say whatever we want to say, but if you wanted to apply, is it rude, is it, you know, consistent with values, is it, then that's how you would do it. You would say, you don't have to maintain that page, it's just like you don't maintain our records, but it would become more official, and we would have to be a little more careful on how we represent ourselves. If you continue to call it a personal page, which I have a personal page, it's called Allison Joy Rozak, then I feel like you have no right to say anything about my personal page, because that has nothing to do with the village, and I'm not representing, unless I forward something onto there. So, and I know when people make complaints, or that distinction isn't well known, nor will it ever be well known unless you tell us we cannot have a page where we put our name trustee or president. but I don't think you can do that, so why don't we make those official, like every other volunteer committee has a page, you know, like, say a Parks Commission has a page, they should be following these standards, not their personal page, not Jenny Fulpa's personal page, I mean, yeah, she represents the city, village, but more than likely, she's gonna post on her Parks page, and then forward it if she needs to, but.
If you want my reaction to that, that's a fair policy topic for you as a board to deliberate on.
Okay, I think that's true.
Yeah, in the draft in front of you, we did not propose any trustee pages as official pages. We just did basically only the pages that staff are maintaining.
I get that.
If you as a board want to change that and also incorporate trustee, I think that's
Now,
within the parameters to certainly do so. I think a lot of the policies I reviewed, and this was a while ago, so I'm sorry, but the policies I reviewed, or I think comments from the league, didn't necessarily encourage that. I think I even got a comment from the league saying that they would
They're not sure.
recommend that. Right, but if you wanted
certainly
to,
not like
I'm just letting
Giving
you.
us an overview.
Yeah, I'm letting you know that I got some opinions not recommending that, but I'm saying that if you as a board wanted to do that, you could do that.
and let me just make my last comment on that, because maybe some communities don't have 2 pages and it gets too confusing, but we do, except not her, and we use them. And these standards seem to apply to all of them, even, so the village, our trustee page, and our personal page, if you read closely, because I've read every detail and have 30 pages of notes, so, so if they already apply the standards, I just feel like I want the logo, like, I feel like there should be some official, we have some, we don't get paid, but I get that we're not employees, and that you can't control what we say because we're elected, right? But if you
Right.
want me to follow this on my president page, and you truly want me to follow it, make that an official page, have a logo, make it and then we can still post what we believe on a policy issue, if it's not breaking open records laws and things like that, as a trustee, as a single board member, and then if we do something on our personal page, you need a disclaimer. Like, this is strictly my personal opinion, like, not as an elected official, because there's a difference between my personal opinion and my elected position opinion, right? So, the disclaimer I even have, like, I couldn't use that disclaimer, this is my personal opinion, sometimes not, this is my elected opinion, this is my opinion as the president of the village. This is my personal opinion, so that's
Well,
why I had.
what's the advantage and disadvantage?
The advantage is it's more official, so you can actually use a logo. I mean, so I looked at some of our pages, okay? And I've used the logo, you wouldn't be allowed to right now. It's on the official page.
You mean like posted a picture or something?
That's in the manager, like, logo, like the front of the village hall, or the tree that says Shorewood, or, I've seen, you use the school board's logo. It feels weird. I would expect if I saw the president of the school board's page as a resident, that's an official page. Because she's talking as the president. Now, if she went to peruse Shaw's page and posted something without a disclaimer, then that's her personal opinion, you know what I mean, like, or with a disclaimer.
So the advantage to you is that you could use a logo.
And to the resident, I feel more even to the residents, it's confusing, and
I
I
mean,
think that if we all had similar pages, if we're gonna have one, you don't have to have one, but if you are gonna have one as a board member, here's the standard format.
But the disadvantage is that if there's something, like there are times that the village has a position on something
That's
that
fine.
we may not
You can do a
agree with.
disclaimer. You're a political elected official, in your position, you can have your opinion.
You're saying it's official page. The board acts as a board, not individually.
Right,
you're-
so you have a disclaimer.
And we also have staff which are we have a communications
But we already
plan.
do it. I'm not gonna stop doing it.
Well,
So
This
even on my
isn't a
president
debate.
page.
He'd like
I'm
to
trying to, there's
place
communicate, and I've noticed, like, staff, they get you get ahead of the staff in their communications plans, which are well laid out.
Yep.
And the
Yeah.
use of a logo implies it's the board's position.
No, it doesn't.
To me it would, that it's official, and then you also open, if you're saying you're the president Facebook, then that's an open record, that
Of course it
opens you
is.
to
It
litigation,
still is,
open
nothing
record.
changes, all I'm saying
Right.
is, the residents are gonna come in and say, she posted this on her president page.
Right.
So whatever you say, it's gonna be official anyways, they're gonna say you're posting from the village, so it's better to have it at least standardized, so the residents are correct. that it's not official from the board, it's your personal elected page.
But I think with the.
It's not a
but
campaign
I think,
page.
I mean, taking from the staff side is like, I mean, let's say something happens like, you know, there's another, backing up of the sewers, okay? So there's an official line from the village, which is, you
Here it
know,
is today.
there is like, please report it to us, and we're, this is what we're doing, but that's the official communication. So,
Like the firework cancellation.
so if we're saying it's my official, like, connected to the village, then the I may say, hey, we should have voted for this thing 2 years ago that I proposed,
you
and
put
nobody
a
listened to
disclaimer.
me. But the official line is something different, so I'm not sure.
Take the official word out then. We're doing it anyways, 'cause Tyler cancels, we're there together, we cancel the 4th of July fireworks, okay? The official communication comes from Tyler, he's running home in the rain, and he
Yeah.
says to me, please post that it is on your president page and in groups, as the president, that we have canceled these and they will be rescheduled, and I did so. How would that differ if I use the word official or not official? I mean, I did it, yes, maybe even ahead of him, I don't know if I got home before he did, but regardless, it's still coming from me as the president. So regardless if you wanna title it official or not, it still follows these rules, nothing's gonna change, it just is standardized.
Yeah,
Like, I
I'm
can't
not
put a
disagreeing,
school
but it's
referendum
not a
picture
bad
that says
idea.
no. You know, I got people who hated that. That would help
That you did what?
eliminate that on my village page.
What did you do?
I can change my background picture on my president page. Like, if it was standardized, I could not do that. I'm trying to help, like, freedom of speech, I still can do that on my personal page. It's just more official for me to have a standard, like an email block. Like, when you put we have the email block that the village has, doesn't mean we're not acting as an employee, but we're a unit. I mean, like, we work here. We do get paid.